Well, this is my first year in pro ball, and I'm playing for the Newark Bears, which is a Yankee farm team right across the river from New York. And basically what happened, I'm the rookie. I had done pretty well. I did well in spring training, even to make the ball club, so I was very happy, and I won my first ball game. We're going along pretty good. And sometime in, in June, my wife's birthday is on the 29th of June, and we were going to travel to Buffalo. And she said, well, I want to go. It's my birthday. I want to go. I said, honey, they made the remark to start with, all rookies, nobody goes on the road. Nobody gets to go on the road. Not just all rookies, but nobody on this team goes on the road. We're ball players. You can have your family at home. You can have your days off. You can do all that, but they're not on the road. It's not a good idea. You pay attention to your wife, you take her out, you do this, you got to think baseball, and that's it. And she said, are you telling me I can't go? I said, I think that's what I was talking about. She said, well, he doesn't pay me any money. I don't have to listen to him. He can't tell me what to do. And I said, Irish, come on. I mean, honey. And Mrs. Pitter, who was the wife of my roommate, she said, Roy said something about that too. And he says, and when I talked to Patty, you know, I said we wanted to go to Buffalo. And she said, we can't go to Buffalo. And so I said, well, you know, Dorothy, if you want to go, that's up to you. But, and it's her birthday. I said she has every right to want to go. But I can't take the chance of getting fined. I might get about a $200 fine. That's half of my salary a month. I said, I'll starve to death. So Patty finally, okay, agreed after much argument. And the argument was only said one-sided. She said, I'm going to go, I'm going to go, I'm going to go. And I said, honey, let's stop it. Okay, she said, I'll stop it. That's all right. That's the end of that. And I just assumed that she wouldn't go. And so we went to Buffalo, and we checked in at the hotel. And while we were checking into the hotel, etc., one of the guys was standing around. You know, there's like, but I guess we make about 18 of us on the road trip, etc. And so consequently, somebody points up and says, hey, look at the two chicks up there. See that walkway up there? Oh, yeah, oh, they're kind of cute. And Roy Pitter was standing there next to the guy, and he said, yeah, look. And it so happened that Mrs. Pitter was turned around, but my wife was facing, looking down. I didn't know that at the time. And everything was fine. We no sooner got in the room, and the phone rang. And I looked at Roy, and he looked at me, and I said, did we do something wrong? The guy calling us or what? So I said, you answer. I was a little afraid that I was wrong, and it was Patty calling from home or something, you know. So anyhow, make a long story short, he answers the phone. He said, hello? Hello? Oh, who? And they said, well, never mind. If you don't mind, we're going to go knock at your door. We're baseball fans. And we said, no, no, thanks. We're not going to do that. So he hung up. And 2 minutes later, the phone rang again. I answered. It was Dorothy on the line. And she said, you have to forgive us. We're baseball fans, etc. And she's a little excited about wanting to meet some ball players. We just thought we'd knock on the door and get your autograph. And I said, is that right? That's why you called on the phone? Were you the two girls they were talking about? They're standing up on the aisle right out here? She said, well, we were standing out there. And said, oh, okay. I said, we can't do that. I'm sorry. We're in training. We can't do that. So I hung up. 5 minutes later, there's a knock at the door. Opened the door. Hi, how are you? I said, oh my God, no. Dorothy came in first. Roy said, Dorothy, now that I told you were supposed to come. So well, I had to come with Pat. She just couldn't go by herself. And then Pat walks in, and I go, oh, honey, close the door in a hurry, for God's sake. So they were laughing, having a good time. I said, what? She said, well, we got 2 twin beds. We're all right. You know, I said, never mind that. I said, I'm going to get fined, and if he gets caught, he's going to get fined. He wasn't told no, but he's here too. We're both going to get fined, and it's going to be a hunk of money, and then what? Then you're going to be mad at me because I can't buy you a decent present. I was doing everything I could to wiggle out of it, etc. And she said, well, we're here. He said, well, get us a couple of passes and we go way up on top and we'll just watch you play. I said, all right. So I asked the guy to leave 2 passes, okay, and I didn't tell him to stick them up, whatever. I just said 2 passes. I figured that they were up in the bleachers or someplace where you couldn't spot them. They were right behind the dugout. And I had pitched well against Buffalo. I'd beaten them twice, etc. And I don't know if I was so shook up at that or I was just having a bad day, but I took a beating. I gave up 6 runs in 2 innings or something like that, and they took me out of there, and they were glad to get rid of me. They took me out in the 2nd inning just in case tomorrow, if I could relieve, because we were short of pitchers, they had a guy who was hurt, that I could be used for a couple of innings. So anyway, I took the loss, okay? Well, the guy that was hurt, etc., and the guy who was supposed to pitch, he gets a bad cold, etc. He can't play. I got to start again because we're short of pitchers. He said, well, you're going to pitch 2 innings. Go ahead. Well, I pitched pretty well that time, but we lost. I pitched 7 innings, gave up 2 runs. We lose the ball game 2-0, etc. And I lost a doubleheader, you know. And there they are up in the stands, and I just, oh, your goddamn phone, oh, your phone. Irish. Damn Irish. Patty, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. And she can read the lips, you know. And I said, stay where you are. We got a shower. We're going to get a cab home. We can't ride the bus with you. Okay. So we get in the cab after it's all over. We go back to the hotel. We let them go in first. Okay. And we made a beeline out of that shower into the whatever so we could beat everybody else home. So now we're in a hotel and we're stuck. But we got to catch a train at, I don't know, 6 o'clock or something like that. We got to go back. And I said, we got to catch a train. Now, what are you going to do? Well, we got to catch the same train. Oh, no, you can't catch the same train. No. Well, she said, they can't see us. We're going to be whatever. And we argued a little bit, and I said, right, don't argue. They're right. They got to get home. They got to get the kids. They got the babysitters and the whole bit. Let's don't worry about it. Let them get on first. We'll be the last ones to get on the train. Okay, fine. So we're in the train depot, okay? And we tell them, go find a booth that's as far as you can get away with. And they had these big high things, old-fashioned things. Go hide somewhere in there. So they did. They went, tucked themselves in there. We wandered around outside a little while to waste some time, and then just went over and sat down. And the waiter come up and says, can I help you? And I said, I'd like to have a beer. And then he said, well, we're not in a hurry. So 20 minutes went by, and when all of a sudden he comes up, he's got 4 beers. And he puts them down on the table. And I said, where do these come from? Well, a gentleman over there said he was a manager, and he said, happy birthday, Pat. And I go, oh, jeez, oh my God, $200 out the window. I'm in a crap house forever. Oh, jeez. Well, we laughed about it because we couldn't do anything else about it. So we just sat there and had a good time. So we didn't play the next day when we got home at Newark. Thank God. I had a day off, and I reprimanded my wife and told her, honey, now, I know it's your birthday, and I know I spoiled the hell out of you. But that doesn't mean that you have to subject us to a $200 fine. I mean, see, that's a little ridiculous. We're gonna eat peanut butter and stale bread for the next month just to make up for it. Well, she said, nobody's going to tell me I can't do anything, not even you. And I sat there for a week waiting for the fine. He finally came up to me and said, I found out you're only making $400. I said, yeah. He said, I didn't fine you. He said, but you're going to get worse than a fine. You're going to go to Joe Oshkosh somewhere. You're going to get shipped someplace else or you do it again. Okay, Skip. All right. No way. We won't do it.
Okay. Why don't you pause it?